After discussing method calling with value type, method calling with void type, then there is one more concept in this method calling is a same class method calling concept. So what is this same class method calling? Means when a class called example say public class some class A can have any number of methods. So I will take two methods. Public void is return type m1 and its body. And after that nothing else is mandated to write it. This is itself is syntactically correct. Then the next method public void m2 and because it's void it's not mandated to write anything else, right? So these are the two methods which belongs to class A. Now is it possible to call m2 from m1? Yeah, a method called m2 we have to call from m1 where they are present. They are present in the same class. That's why it is a same class method calling concept. So for example, if m2 is in a different class and m1 is in a different class, how do you call m2 from m1? Same as like the previous example, when a method is present in different class, we have to create the object. Similarly, here also we can follow the same approach. Even though method is present in the same class, it is possible to create the object for that class within one of or within all of its methods. So I'll use a class name object reference equals new again class of empty parenthesis semicolon. Then if it is a void type, only method calling is allowed, right? From wherever we call, even though it is main method or non-main method, because it is not returning, only thing is a1 dot method signature of m2. So m2 empty parenthesis semicolon. So this is the possibility of same class method calling. Even though the calling method is present in the same class, we can create the object and we can call the method by using object reference dot method signature. Same as like different classes approach. And let me write the same code public class A and again the same two methods I'll take public void m1 and its body public void m2 and its body. Yeah. So this time the requirement is same again. Call m2 from m1. Yeah. So this is one of the approach of object creation and using the reference with method signature. The second possibility is because they both are present in the same class. Within the same class, these two methods are present. So we can call directly by method signature. What's method signature? Method name and parameters. If it is anything is there, so we will give the values, but it is empty, therefore here also it will be empty. This is the second possibility. This is possible because they are in the same class. Yeah. So this is the approach one for calling same class methods. This is the approach one and this is the approach two. Yeah. Then which approach is recommended? This floor brackets is not anything as syntax, only just the approach. Which approach is recommended is a question. So here in first approach, what is happening? The object creation, therefore memory consumption. In this second approach, no object creation, therefore no memory consumption for object. Remaining part will anyhow will consume, but no memory consumption for object. Therefore, second approach is recommended in this scenario. If it is a same class method calling concept, the approach without object is recommended than the approach with object. Am I clear? So then let's see one more example, and here I am using just the return type as void type. If it is void type only, is it possible? Or if it is non-void also, it's possible. That we will discuss one with one example here. So for this, I am taking a class called public class, the class name arithmetic. This arithmetic class can have any number of methods, of course, any class. So I am taking a method called as public. I want to add two numbers. They are integer type, say int x comma int y. So this is the first method body. When we add two integers, then what's the result? Integer only, right? Therefore, return type is integer. Then what's the logical task? X plus y. Then int some variable sum. Then as per the method syntax, return sum. Correct? So a method add in arithmetic class. Then in this class, let me write one more method. So public, I want to find the subtraction. So its return type also integer only. Then a method name sub for subtraction, and it is possible to go for same variables that we have seen during some rectangle and square examples. So this can be int xy. Here also it can be int same variables x and y. Then here what's the logical task? X minus y, then followed by, so here int some diff for difference is a variable. Then return diff. So this is the second method. So then when two methods are present in the same class, is it possible to call one method from the other? Just now we have discussed, right? So this method I want to call from add. Yeah, of course we can write wherever, but mandatory before return statement. That's all. Before return statement, we have to write the code. Then what's the approach? Because they both are present in the same class, approach recommended is without object. Therefore, object is not required. Then what's the thing? Method signature we have to use. What's method signature means? Method name and the inputs for these variables we have to pass. So I'm using 100 comma 50. One is integer, another one also integer, then semicolon. This is method calling. So when we call this method, is it printing the output here? No, that approach is not there. Then because it is returning the integer, so by using this return, I am using some d for difference. And once the variable is having some value, inside a method body, print syntax is allowed. So I'm printing also. Done. Any questions here? Same thing previously here. Just a void example I have taken. And here I am taking non-void example. So when it comes to other than void, then the return type with some variable, we can store the result and we can print it also. Otherwise, we can club these two lines into one single line of print function as well. So then to execute this, can we run this program to get some output now? No, because no main method is there. In this arithmetic class, there is no main method is there. So we can't get the outputs here. Then how to get the output? So we have to create the object and we have to do the method calling process also. So for that, I'll take a class test. Inside this public static void main, and inside this main the syntax is string 3 dots args. So then followed by, now To access other class code, we have to create the object. No option other than that object creation. So therefore, I'll create the object sum a equals new arithmetic, then empty parenthesis semicolon. Now here, this class has two methods, but tell me which one method only I would like to call, but execution has to happen for both methods. Which one method we have to call? Is it add or subtract? So the answer is subtraction method is already called from add method. Then if we call add method from here, it's enough, no? Add method will internally call subtraction method. So both will be done. That's why a dot add method and a signature with inputs. Again here, wantedly let us take 150. Then this method also is returning something as integer. So by using this integer data type, some variable s for sum, then here this s value I would like to print from here as well. That's the syntax. This is the syntax. So then if this is the code, what is the output that we are going to get? I mean to say addition output followed by subtraction output or subtraction output followed by addition output. That's the first question. So you can guess it. So if it is addition first, then 150, subtraction second, then 50. Or if it is subtraction first, then 50 by addition 150, which is the correct output? Is it first one or second one? Yeah, you can have your guesses. Then let's understand the flow. I'm not giving the answer directly. So for this, so when JVM executes a program, JVM will start the program execution from main method. Then first line, right hand side part, then left hand side part, it's the object will be done in the memory. Next line, right hand side part. So because of this add method calling, where JVM should go? From line number 3, JVM goes to a reference class called arithmetic class add method header. Correct? Then 150 or the values of the variables will be assigned in the same order. First variable will get 100, second variable will get 50. Then enters into the body of this add method. Right hand side execution is first once again. So step number 4. What is step number 4 is doing here? Calling another method. So from this fourth step only, now the control has to comes to subtract method header. Step number 4 only, or 5. So in this 5, what will happen? Again these variable values will be assigned to subtraction method parameters. So 100 and 50, x with 100 and y with 50. Now JVM enters the subtraction method. Correct? Method calling means execute the method and come back. So right hand side once again, sixth, 100 minus 50 is a calculation. Seventh, this difference will have a value called as 50. Eighth, return. Return means control has to go back. So does the control came to subtraction method from main method or from add method? From add. Therefore, now with this return value called DIF, JVM should go back to the line of code where it has come to subtraction, left hand side. So that's a step number 9. So whatever is this DIF value called 50 will be assigned to this D called 50. Then next line 10, print D. So we get the output 50. Next line, right hand side, 11th step. So this current method variables x and y, holding a value called 150. Therefore, 100 plus 50 will be a 150. So with the execution of left hand side. Then next, return statement execution 13. So written with some value, but this with this some value where JVM should go. This time the return statement, the control has to go back to main method here. Am I correct? So from here, now JVM should come back to this step here. So which is a step number 14. And because of its execution, S will be assigned with some return value, which is a 150 here. Then the next line, step number 15. So S value, which is a 150 is output. Then after that, nothing else to execute. JVM reaches to the closed flower bracket of main method. That's the ending of the program execution. So by the time we are going to get 50 followed by 150 is order of output, not 150 followed by 50. This is also an example of same class method calling only. This is also an example for same class method calling. But in order to execute by JVM, we have to create the object and we have to call one of the methods at least. So this is the process. So am I clear? So this is the very reason that flow is very much important for as a programmer to know. We should know the flow also. Otherwise, we could have guessed 150 followed by 50 in interviews. Correct? No? Yeah. So this is about the method calling with void type and method calling of same class.